Hey everyone, we come today to tell you about the Aurora Police Chief getting fired. I've got K-Dot's at work, so he's not able to make it here today. But I do have Mark Wilson as a co-host. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Good.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of talk about this. I've got a couple videos to play that I found on it. There is it's something that's been needed to be done. But yeah, they apparently the city manager walked in and fired her effective immediately. So I haven't got the whole story on it, but we're definitely going to kind of watch these videos together and let's check out, see what we find out. Yeah, Hustler. Yeah, they fired her for some reason. I do know it had to do with changes that needed to be made. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull up this first video, and we will take a look at it and see what all they say, and go from there.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Good morning, and thanks so much for watching Denver 7 Plus. I'm Jason Grenauer. We begin the top of the hour with breaking news. Police Chief Vanessa Wilson at Aurora Police is no longer the police chief. A news release coming out from the city manager just a few moments ago reads that after a considerable amount of assessment and a recognition that areas of the department need refocused attention, the city manager, Jim Twombly, has made the decision to search for new leadership of APD. That coming directly from that news release. Part of a statement from the city manager then goes on to read, to provide the level of public safety that our community deserves, a change in leadership must occur. And that change in leadership is effective immediately. That news release does not use the words retired or fired, but it does say effective immediately. Police Chief Vanessa Wilson is no longer the police chief there, that a division chief will be taking over the reins of the Aurora Police Department. Now, one thing that was noted also in that news release, this is not going to affect the consent decree, the agreed to legal agreement that major changes in APD will take place. Now, a news conference is scheduled for 11 a.m. this morning. We will be there and we will bring that to you live as soon as it happens. Now, Denver 7 first reported that the chief was on her way out, being forced out back on March 23rd. Now, since then, city leaders were silent about that until this morning. This also comes just one day after Denver 7 reported a major backlog of cases in APD's records division. That means that many cases, more than 2,500, went without a detective or without an investigation, some of them serious crimes like murders, for months. Now, again, just to recap, Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson is out. This is effective immediately. This was a decision that was made by the Aurora City Manager. We got a statement. We are working on a news story to go up right now on thedenverchannel.com, and we will bring you that live news conference as soon as it happens at 11 a.m.
Hi, my name is Fami,
It
and
did
I would
hit.
like to give
Let
you
me
a
get this
version.
out. It did hit. I caught the very tail end of the news conference. KDOT was trying to get a hold of me, finally got a hold of me and said, go live. Let's get this out here immediately. So that's what we're doing. He wishes he could be here. I'm sure he's probably lurking, if all possible, while he's at work. And hey, Jody, we the people. I see Ellie in here, Heather Holt. And yes, Heather Holt, you were first.
Everybody. Hey, my mic.
But yeah, welcome in everybody. McDonald, Jane Miller. We got quite a few people in here. But yeah, he wishes he could be here. But there is a major breaking story. We're not sure of all of it. I do have another video to play. It's about a minute long talking about it, but they did just do a big news conference talking about the fact that she was fired effective immediately. So I'm kind of wondering who she pissed off. Because normally they give you a chance to retire, they give you a chance of They normally give them chances to kind of rectify the situation, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
mean,
like,
there's a
nope.
lot going on there in Aurora anyhow. I mean, it could be a number of things.
Yeah, there's always something going on in Aurora. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let me go ahead and pull this other one up. But yeah, he wanted me to get this out to you guys immediately because this is his area. I'm kind of hoping MLH jumps up in here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be pretty serious.
You have some breaking news just into our newsroom. Law enforcement sources have confirmed with 9 News that Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson has been fired. This comes just a day after a new report was released saying the department has a massive backlog of cases that are not being investigated, including murder and child abuse cases. Now, APD tells 9 News that is not true. Just about 2 weeks ago, there were reports the former chief that the former chief Wilson would be resigning, but her attorney told us she had no intention of leaving her position despite the city manager suggesting a strategy for her resignation. Aurora has been in the news a lot recently as violent crimes have continued to rise in the city. Wilson's been the target of criticism within the department since she took office. Wilson has served as interim police chief now since the beginning of 2020. She was appointed full-time in August that year, becoming the department's first female police chief. Again, this is breaking news just into our newsroom. Aurora Police Chief has been fired. We're again working to get some more information about when this happened and some more details. Once we do, we'll pass it along.
Yeah, so it's got to be. I agree with Ellie. There's got to be more to the story than what's being said. But there, as you heard, they're saying there's a backlog of incidences that aren't being investigated. Which I actually brought up to KDOT here recently. Actually, if you go on their Twitter and kind of watch, there's almost like there's a pattern going on with the shootings, hit and runs, and stuff like that. Oh, there's KDOT himself. He's in chat. But yeah, there's almost like a pattern going on where you see like several shootings, then all of a sudden, hey Heather, if you could, you have MLH's number, don't you? If you do, text him. Try to get him over here, or I can. But there's like a pattern. There would be like 3 or 4, maybe 5 shootings, and then all of a sudden there's like 2 to 3 hit and runs, and then all of a sudden you may have a stabbing in between, but then all of a sudden there's like 3, 4, 5 shootings, and it's almost weekly. I mean, I think since September, I went all the way back to September, and there's only a couple points where there's no more than like a week gap between the shootings. But during that time, that gap, there's like several stabbings. There is like 2 to 3 hit and runs. It's weird.
Yeah, there always seems to be something going on there, and then it always ends up being like a cover up of some sort.
Well, there's my brother, Toe for Life. Hey, John Hobbs. Yeah, I don't know. I see there's almost like a pattern going on it. It's really strange, and it's something that we've been kind of looking into because it's almost like a pattern. But think about all the school shootings that were going on. And if you look at the pattern, it's normally all kids that are around anywhere from about 16 up into their 20s, and then every so often you can throw somebody in that's in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah, I'm trying to read a couple things here online. I don't see really too much on here.
Yeah, Ellie, I agree. Yeah, it's a good day, but don't celebrate too fast because they can always get somebody worse. And that is the truth. But yeah, it to me, she's had to have gone a long time ago. I mean, she does not seem to be nothing but KDOT says I have close source and says it's going to get even worse. And also the city did it to save his job on the inside.
Well, that's possible. Somebody higher up trying to save their own ass.
Yeah, KDOT saying it's a city manager. Let me see.
She's been with the department for 23 years. Started chief in 2020.
Yeah, she's only been the chief for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wanted me to bring this to everybody's attention because this is like awesome. The fact that she is gone. But like Ellie said, it could be somebody that's even worse that it actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, they might even end up with somebody that is a whole lot better and actually going to get along with everybody and fix things in Aurora that need to be fixed.
Actually, I think I just found the video I was hoping to be able to play. It's a long video, but we can always stop it in between and kind of discuss it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually the city manager discusses the firing of the police chief. That's the one that I caught the tail end of.
All right, I'll be right back, Road Dog.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this playing.
News conference from Aurora City Manager Jim Twombly, who will be discussing the firing of Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson, which 9 Wants to Know first reported earlier on this morning. In a press release this morning, Twombly said that the police department in Aurora needed, quote, refocused attention, and, quote, a reference to a tumultuous 2-year term for Wilson as Aurora Police Chief that began in August of 2020 when she initially filled in an interim role and that eventually moved to a full-time role in 2020. Now, here's a full quote from the Aurora Police Department, from Jim Twombly, the Aurora City Manager, about Wilson's firing. Quote, it is clear that Chief Wilson has prioritized community involvement. However, the police chief also needs to effectively manage the operations of the department, effectively engage with staff, build morale, and validate employee feedback to provide the level of public safety that our community deserves. A change in leadership must occur, and, quote, that quote attributed again to Aurora City Manager Jim Twombly, who fired Vanessa Wilson earlier on this morning. Now, the upcoming news conference from Twombly will be, quote, brief, according to the news release as well. Also going back to statement I just read a few moments ago, if you kind of read between the lines, or even not so much, on a particularly veiled sentiment there, it appears that Twombly appears that to have felt that Wilson may have failed in terms of building morale and kind of keeping things moving. It seems like that there may have been some internal strife there in the Aurora Police Department based on that statement that you heard from Jim Twombly a few moments ago. Now, effective immediately, Division Chief Chris Jewell will temporarily oversee operations there at the Aurora Police Department. The city management team is going to work to name an interim chief coming up in the near future. Then you would have a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Again, this all according to the city. We'll probably get a bit more clarification on that search and that timeline coming up here in the next few moments, but you'll probably hear a fair bit about Wilson's firing also a bit more directly. Now, it is the city manager, so Jim Twombly's job to appoint a police chief with the approval of a majority of the city council. That change in leadership will not have a direct impact on the city's commitment to fulfill the terms of the consent decree it entered with the Colorado Attorney General in late 2021. So again, kind of going back to that tumultuous 2-year term that Wilson endured as police chief. It started with the Elijah McClain case, of course, back in 2020, and over that time span, there's been quite a bit of tumult there in the Aurora Police Department. And again, we'll probably get a bit more clarification coming up here in the next few minutes about how the next police chief, you would presume you'll probably get a bit more clarification about how that next police chief intends to rectify what appears to be a bit of an, again, tumultuous situation there in the Aurora Police Department. So we're going to go out to that news conference here momentarily. But again, Aurora City Manager Jim Twombly will be hosting that news conference momentarily about the firing this morning of Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson. We'll be right back.
So, Jane, this is in Aurora, Colorado, and hey.com. It's in Aurora, Colorado. This is something that to me, it seems like the crime has gone up, not down, in my opinion. I'm trying to get the next portion of this set up for you guys, because they kind of do breaks in between.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen and what I've followed, about Aurora, it seems like the crime and the homelessness and everything's all gone up. Everything's gotten worse out there.
Yeah. It seems like if you look at the information, we got a troublemaker in the house.
Oh, time to go.
Yo.
What up?
What's up, MLH?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Oh, did you hear about your little buddy Vanessa getting let go?
I did, and you guys might be surprised at what I have to say. I'm actually disappointed she was fired.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is
that? If you guys remember, I don't know if you guys are following this Aurora PD saga at all, and it really is a saga. She was hired with the intention of building, building a bridge between the public and police, right? That's what they always say. That's the line. And don't get me wrong, I'm in no way a huge Vanessa fan at all. I didn't think she was the greatest chief in the world, but she was definitely better than what was in there before. But if you guys follow the story, she was given a vote. This was inevitable, right? I knew this was going to happen. As soon as they voted a no confidence vote for Vanessa, which was, I believe, what was it, about maybe 3-4 months ago, 6 months ago, somewhere around there. I can't remember the timeline, but they all voted no confidence on Vanessa. And what does that tell you? That the police people and the force themselves vote no confidence. She must be doing some things right? So do I agree that she was unsavory at times and a little slimy at times? Yes, I do. But I mean, whoever they're going to get in next, I can almost assure you is going to be 10 times worse than what she was. So yeah, I was slightly disappointed in the decision to fire her. And then I read a 9 News clip, which is the local affiliate down here for, I believe, ABC, if I'm not mistaken. That you have to kind of read between the lines. And they were basically saying, while she was hired for this, it really wasn't, happening or whatever, which basically said she's doing the right things. We got to get her out and get somebody that's going to do what we want them to do for us. The problem isn't the Chiefs. The problem is definitely the unions that are across the nation. Aurora's no different. They got a police union that's almost like Fort Knox. I mean, KDOT and I have, kind of tried to strategize to see how we can get representatives from the union to talk to us. I mean, it's that secretive and that horrific. So yeah, you know what, I'm slightly disappointed in the decision, just because I know I mean, if I don't know what was said in that report, Road Dog, I got in late, but there's going to supposedly be a nationwide search for a chief. Why don't they look in house for a chief? You know, why don't they look in house for somebody? Does that mean they have no confidence in anybody in the Aurora department, Aurora PD, to take over that position? I mean, it just seems like it's just fishy to me. The whole thing is fishy. Am I sad that she's gone? No, I'm not, because, you know, you could tell she was towing the line a little more towards the police than the public, but there were a couple of inroads that were, you know, slowly being. I don't know if achieved is the correct term, but at least heading in that direction, and they couldn't have any of that. So that's why I'm a little skeptical of this move and slightly disappointed.
Oh, you heard it first here. MLH is disappointed.
Yeah, slightly disappointed. I don't want to get anybody's feathers ruffled, but you know, that's just my take on the matter. I mean, I knew it was going to be a little controversial.
Me.
What's that?
That slightly surprises me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, I'm not a huge fan of Vanessa's, and you know, I could care less if she gets another job. I mean, I think it should be like the general public. You get fired, you're almost blacklisted from getting another job, right? It's really hard to kind of find employment going forward. So, am I going to cry if she doesn't get another job? Or, I mean, she's got probably a million or two in the bank, you know, from her career. So, I don't feel, you know, too bad for Vanessa, but honestly, I mean, I don't think this is the right move I mean, I think this is the right move at the right time for the city. I think this is the wrong move at the wrong time for the general public. That's basically what I'm saying.
Right. I think it possibly could be, you know, somebody higher up's just covering their own ass somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And I do know that you're not a big fan of hers, because we've actually talked that day when you covered the shooting. I think it was at the park, when you were there during. He fell out. I don't know what happened to him.
It fell over.
He probably got a phone call. That's all it was. But I do know that there's a lot of stuff going on. I know he's not a big fan of hers, because we had actually discussed it the day he was actually at the press conference. I think it was the shooting at the park, if I remember correctly, where there was multiple kids shot and all that. Now that one they did actually do some arrests on, and he was not happy with what she had to say. Ellie, I kicked MLH out. Yeah, he's back. But yeah, I do know that MLH is not a fan of hers. Because of that day when we talked, he was basically telling me what he thought of her. And I kind of see where he's saying it could be a lot worse by who they bring in. And Ellie said she was one that kicked you off the line, by the way.
Yeah, probably. I think it was Ellie's fault.
She timed you out.
She timed me out. She likes doing that, man. I'm just honestly, guys and gals, like I'm not gonna shed a tear. Trust me. But you guys buckle up. You think Aurora PD is bad now? Just you wait. Just you wait.
Now that I don't agree with. Denver police are way better than Aurora police.
Yeah, I don't.
You stop and think about it. I mean, look at the scene you were on just the other day.
Yeah.
That one, what was he? A corporal, I think.
Yeah, the corporal.
And, yeah, I mean, he was a total dick to you, and yeah honestly, I thought MLH is going to jail tonight.
Yeah,
You,
look,
the way you were like, you stood your ground with that guy. I thought it was awesome. There he went again.
Ellie, stop that.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I honestly, I thought that night, MLH, I mean, he honestly, I don't feel he crossed a line, but he was like tethering on that line.
No, he did cross the line, Road Dog,
No,
and I'll tell
I
you
said
why.
you. I said you.
Oh, me? No, I
Yeah.
definitely didn't, man. I know
No,
my
you,
limits.
yeah, you went up to that line and you just stood steady right there on that
Right,
line. Like,
right.
go ahead. But
Well,
no,
there
he
was no
crossed the
tape
line.
there. There was no tape. If you guys watch that video, there was absolutely no tape there. So for him to chastise me and say that I crossed the tape, what tape did I cross? So if he would
Right.
have arrested me that night, it would have sucked. It definitely would have sucked. But I know I would have got away with it because there was no tape there. And as a matter of fact, that was proven by the fact that the dude put up tape after I went to the side there. So
Yeah, and then you had to point out, did you have permission from the owner to be on their property? I thought that was awesome.
yeah. I was like, did you have
that
permission?
was awesome.
Which, by the way, they don't really need permission, but that wasn't the crime scene. So yes,
Right.
technically they did need permission. They weren't doing any investigating there, and that was evidenced by the fact that the officer got in his car and just sat there. Corporal.
Yep.
Corporal, what was his name? Simmons.
Yes.
If somebody was asking the question or implying that Denver is better than Aurora, I disagree. I think they're both equally as corrupt. I mean, you guys can chronicle District 4 in particular on my channel, on Regan Benson's channel, and you can see how, and on KDOT's channel for that matter, you can see how corrupt District 4 in particular. I mean, I've had run-ins with District 6, District 2, District 3, District 4. Not so much District 5. You never hear of District 5 shenanigans really, but I'm sure I'll get to that eventually because that's kind of my neck of the woods. Actually, there are District 5 shenanigans with KDOT. That's who arrested him for simply being on the outside of the cop shop in District 5 off of Peoria. So yeah, I mean, it's pure corruption. Aurora probably, I mean, edges just ahead of Denver. I mean, barely. I mean, they're both awful. Trust me. They both suck. And like I said, change needs to happen. But I don't believe firing this police chief was a step in the right direction. I think it was. I think we could have worked with this chief on a few key issues. I know KDOT it wasn't a big fan of hers, and neither am I. I mean, I've voiced my big time displeasure towards this police chief in the past, but it was definitely better than the previous chief. And I mean, I I'm really curious to see who they hire next because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty awful decision.
It's going to probably be somebody that they can use as a puppet, in my opinion.
No doubt. No doubt. And I don't think that they could use Vanessa like they thought they could use Vanessa, right? I mean, they had the female angle with her, so that was seen as a kind of a progressive move on their part. But I don't think she was willing to play ball all the way, and that's why the no confidence vote. And I saw the writing on the wall as soon as they did that no confidence vote on Vanessa. I knew it was just a matter of time before they decided to fire her. And you know who really needs to be fired is the city manager. That's who needs to be the city manager needs to be fired, and the union needs to be busted over there. I don't like their tactics of protecting officers no matter what. I think they should look at each case individually and decide um, accordingly if there's misconduct, which there's constant misconduct. I mean, up to and including you were talking about that me versus the Corporal Simmons over there Road Dog. The most egregious thing that officer did, and this is, this is kind of a blanket kind of thing that almost all officers do, whether it's Aurora, Denver. They just make shit up as they go along, right? And this officer just making shit up as he went along in that interaction, and basically threatening to, as in his words, talk to my bosses,
Yeah.
which I thought was one of the stupidest but most hilarious things that any officer has ever said to me. So in other words, he wanted to ruin a member of the public's livelihood if indeed I had bosses, which I told him my bosses are watching. It's my audience, and of course my lovely partner Bernie. But it's those are my bosses. I don't answer to him or the Aurora PD or the Denver PD, and I don't let them push me around, and they don't like that, so they have to resort to try to getting somebody fired now. Which, by the way, I will file a complaint at some point on Corporal Simmons there.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to do the same, I've got all of his information. You can contact myself or MLH, and we can get it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that one right there. I thought it was funny the way you handled him. But
Yeah.
the other cop was really cool with you. I mean, it was like,
Yeah, the other
he
cool.
won't identify, and he actually went out of his way to try to help you out and get his name and all that stuff.
Yeah, because that officer didn't want to give me his name and all that. KDOT says we have to go harder now. No doubt, KDOT. No doubt.
KDOT, it was Denver. It was District 6, was it not?
Yeah. Yeah, District yeah, it was District 6. It was off of Colorado and Colfax there. So yeah, District 6.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what it was, and I've actually got the video up. I was gonna try to get to your
if you have the video queued up, Road Dog, I'll talk about it. I mean, that was a pretty. I need to get that clipped out and put on my channel as a static video, but it's it's kind of funny. I mean, this is kind of typical. I mean, they're changing tactics up. They do it all the time. They're interested in getting people fired or reprimanded by talking to their bosses, apparently. And this is a corporal in Denver, which I've had run-ins in Aurora with people doxing me and all kinds of stuff, which happens from time to time. I mean, I really don't care. They all have my name, which how they got my name to begin with was kind of curious, I mean, they must have ran my plates or whatever, they're stupid tactics, but I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not afraid. It just, I mean, I do get a little nervous at times, I was kind of thinking that officer was going to arrest me, but I figured the best thing to do was go. He wanted me to go. Now, see, what kind of stupidity is this to go into the street? I mean, go in the street where you could potentially get hurt. So they're definitely not interested in public safety, and that's been proven time and time again. The Supreme Court has ruled they're not responsible for our safety. So what do they care if I get ran over in the street? So. I just went to the side. I didn't go all the way in the street. I went like right behind where the red tape would be if it continued. And then, whatever happened. I was threatened.
Yeah, actually the car, I'm looking at the car now. It's actually District 2.
Oh, it could be District 2. Yeah, it could be District 2.
Yeah, it was District 2 is the car that you walked up and looked at the computer on. Let me go ahead and let me cue that up.
Yeah, and everybody's got to be nervous and a little scared doing it, because if you weren't, you would be human,
Well, these guys have guns and they're not afraid to use them, so that's the whole thing. I mean, I was talking to somebody about it, and I caught myself because I'm like, look, I never do anything illegal. I'm always within the bounds of the law as far as I know. But that doesn't stop them. It doesn't stop them from trying to rough you up or hurt you or stuff like that. So it can happen to anybody, even me, So, all right, Road Dog, if you got
being out there, everybody's got to be nervous or scared, or you're not human, or you're just not right in the head.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
That's
all right,
right.
Here we go.
All right, here it is, everybody. Let's take a peek. How you doing, officer?
All right, how are you?
Another day, another 50 cents, you know? And this jackass decided to put his light on me right here. This is unit... No, can I help you? Look at that, guys. Shine the light right in the camera. Could you not shine your light over here?
You're inside the tape. Go back outside the tape.
I'm not inside the tape.
You are.
No, I'm not. Tape's right there.
Right, you passed. Go back outside.
No, I'm right here. The tape's right there.
I won't advise you again. Go outside the tape.
Where's the tape? Show me the tape.
The tape you just crossed.
I didn't cross any
I'm
tape.
going to put more tape up, so go outside of it.
Well, go ahead and put up the tape. Could you not shine your light in my face?
You can do what I asked you, so I can do my job.
Sir, can you not shine your light in my
Back up on the
face?
roadway. You mean? No, you're good. Go back on the roadway where I advised you to.
Look,
I
here's
won't
the
advise you
tape right
again.
here. I'm going right here, and this
There
is
you
where
go.
I'm staying.
And I will retape it. Seems how you decide to cross it.
Just shut up and do your job, man. I'm tired of your shit, and get your light out of my face.
Okay.
How about that?
You're real professional.
Yeah, you're a professional too, shining your light in my face, and I will be filing a complaint.
Who do you tape for?
None of your business. How
Who do you
about that?
record for?
I don't answer questions.
You don't?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be reaching out to your bosses too for your unprofessionalism.
Look at this guy, man. I'll be reaching out to your bosses and filing a complaint with IA. How about
fine.
that?
That is fine. And I will speak to your bosses about you disregarding, because we have a pretty good relationship with the media.
Yeah, well,
Until you
enjoy that. Maybe next time tape up the crime scene a little bit better there. How about that?
Everybody else was able to follow it. Everybody else understood.
There was
that it's
no
taped.
tape here. No tape, officer.
Sir, it's tape for you now. so
No
you understand
tape.
now.
No tape.
Okay, sir.
And why are you on private property doing that? Did you ask the owners for permission?
Crime scene.
You need permission.
I do?
Yes, you do.
Okay, sir. Thank you for the advisement.
Yeah. Get back in your car and do your job. Sitting down and wasting taxpayer money.
Okay.
How about that?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Advice from me to you. Learn it and love it.
I will take your advice wholeheartedly.
Oh, I'm sure you will. How do you lay on your pillow at night like that, officer?
I work at
treating
night.
the
I don't
public
lay in
like
pillow
that.
at night.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Wasting taxpayer money sitting on your ass.
Okay, you have a good night, sir.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
Yep.
Enjoy your life, your worthless life.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And reach out to my bosses. My bosses are watching. Yep,
I think they love how you're talking.
they sure do. They love it.
Okay. You have a good night.
Yep, you too. And stop shining your light in people's faces, jerk. Fucking ass. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. If anybody wants to see the whole thing, definitely go over to MLH's channel and check it out. Yeah, I had laid down and I was laying there listening to the live stream, and he had asked for a couple things. I was able to do it on my phone. I do not do this on my phone. I can't. I'm not fast enough. Finally, at one point during that in the chat, you'll see me going, okay, MLH, I'm up. I'm back at my computer. Damn.
It wasn't my intention, man. I really didn't even want to go out, but that night. But PTP found this scene, of course, in my neck of the woods, right? Double shooting, or not a double shooting, one. I think multiple shots, one person killed at that complex there. You know, we're there to get the story. I'm always there to get the story. You know, I mean, PTP and I did another double shooting where two people got shot in the legs. And you know, it's just that one was a whole different animal, and I need to chop that one up and get that one out. Man, holy crap, the amount of content I got with PTP was just crazy. But that one in particular was just, it was really irritating because, like, he's threatening a member of the public with their job, either to get reprimanded or get fired, because I put him in check and made him do his job, right? So,
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. By the way, Ellie in chat says, and I love this. She said, "Well, I am MLH's boss officer. I heard your complaint, and your complaint is denied." That's what
Exactly.
I mean. I told him, I was like, "My bosses are watching. Like, what do you like? What are they gonna do? I mean, come on." Should I?
And big man, I may be old, okay, older than you, but I probably do more in one day than you do in a week. Just saying. And by the way, big man, fuck you.
Wow, them's fighting words, Road Dog. Them's fighting
Oh
words.
no, him and I have this. Anytime him and I are on a chat together or something, we try to see who can say it first.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
win.
big man. He's a good friend of mine. He's awesome. I love big man. I just love giving him hell. And he does the same to me, though.
Oh yeah, Ron Seven said it right. He said, "From what I hear, MLH was punished when he got home. He received a spanking."
Hey, Ron, now let me explain to you. After the live, I spoke to him. He said, "Hell no, I'm going home, going to bed." And poor Bernie was said, "No, I'm tired too, so it's going to have to wait." Just saying. So he didn't get the spanking he was deserved.
He got his spanking. Don't
There's
you worry
Bernie.
about that.
There's Bernie, everybody. Oh man, but it's so funny now. Now they're reverting to like stupid, idiotic tactics. Like what if I was a member of the media and exercising my First Amendment rights, right? Which I am a member of the media, by the way. And I think why he said this. Here's a little tidbit that kind of behind the scenes stuff on that video. I think the reason that he said that was because I had my media pass on. Road Dog, remember the
Right.
one that you had got me, and I think he thought that I was an actual full-fledged member of some branch of media. I don't know if he was thinking like CBS or what, but he's like kind of like huffing and puffing. And so see, they intimidate, and that's probably why the real media, the quote unquote real media, the mainstream media, is afraid to do stories on the police like that. They're afraid of access being denied, and they're afraid that of repercussions from idiotic police officers like Corporal Simmons. So yeah, I mean, it's what you get with the police. Everybody, their tyrannical ways. They, it has to be their way or the highway, and there's no compromise. There's no, that where I was, by the way, setting up that scene there, Road Dog, on that particular video. I was literally, I don't know what, 100 feet from the real crime scene, the actual
Yeah, it
crime
was
scene
down
there.
the road. Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
down
was
the road.
way down the road. He was just being a dick and didn't, had to assert some sort of authority because that's how they are. That's how they think and that's how they are. And you're seeing that in Aurora PD too now with this decision to get rid of this chief. I mean, I think she was probably muscled out. I'm sure more details will come in, from the real journalist on the ground, and I'll get a sense of it. And I know KDOT will work really hard to find the true story of what happened out there.
Yeah, but I do have to point out you did put up a video. I think you released it yesterday. It was your family of Karens go crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sends me this video and asks me, "Can you edit it?" Blah blah blah. I'm sitting there doing it, and I'm looking at this little girl that he wanted edited out. Is what it was. He just wanted me to blur the face out, not do anything more.
Yeah.
And after watching it all the way through, as I'm doing it, I never noticed something, but this little girl, I don't know how old she was. I'm guessing 10ish. They're about 10, 11
Yeah,
years
she had to
old.
have been no more than like 10, maybe
Yeah, that's
11.
what I'm thinking. It was like 9, 10, 11, right in that ballpark.
Yeah.
She's sitting there yelling at him, calling him every name in the book. And then as she walks off, She flips him off right next to her mom, and the mom's just like, "Yeah, ha, take that."
Yeah, I look, guys. I mean, I sent it to Road Dog because I honestly, I'm not in the business of exposing little kids' faces on my camera and stuff. Like as much as I can help it, you know. I mean, I understand the concerns with that, right? But in this particular instance, like Road Dog and I were talking, like I don't. I mean, first of all, it was like at a distance, so you can't really see the little girl other than her flipping me off and stuff. And I'm like, look, let's just put out this video because I mean, we are out in public. I mean, it's like going to a park, right? And you're taking videos with whoever, let's say or even by yourself. You're taking a picture of the lake or the trees or whatever, and a kid happens to get in your frame. Are you supposed to be afraid every second of every frame, of a kid being in your camera? I'm like, look, let's just put out this video. Let's just put it out there for the world to see and see what happens. And PTP had a live version of that, and boy, oh boy, was he ever getting the 1-2 of on his channel. Basically, people saying if you guys weren't there, none of this would have happened, blah blah blah. And I'm like, look, I mean, it could have been anybody with a camera there, right? The interest was not in the family. The interest was in the best interest of that family, so that they didn't get their asses kicked by officers.
But
Now,
hang on, let me throw this in there.
yeah,
If you notice, the kid, the 13-year-old, the
yeah,
boy that they were talking to, actually looked at you several times prior to him going nuts. It was not until the mother started running her mouth
yeah,
is
yeah.
when he went nuts. So the fact that what you just said, that people, well, if you weren't there, no, if the mom would have been just like, oh, okay, they're just filming, not a big deal, he would never have went off like
Yeah,
that.
he would have never gotten upset. So it's definitely the
Right.
parenting. And then what's even more disturbing is not even that video, but on PTPs, like my video, I failed to hit the record button. They almost ran me over. PTP's got it on his channel, on his live that we did that day. That family like got in their red car and searched for us. I saw them, and we were going back to our car, and I told PTP, let's go back because I don't want them to confront us or have any issues. Sure enough, they go around the building and they almost run me over, and
Oh,
then start talking all kinds of smack. And I'm like, holy cow! The kid, you said he's 13 years old. How do you know that, Road Dog?
the father starts yelling as he runs across the street.
Yeah,
As he's running across the street, when the kid goes ballistic,
yeah.
he yells out, "He's only 13, leave him alone."
Oh, I got you. Okay, see, I didn't hear that. I was in the moment, So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've actually got it pulled up if you want to watch it.
I mean, if you want to, Road Dog, I mean, I have no problem. I got a few minutes.
The interactions doesn't really start until about 2.5 minutes into it and all that. But with the other part I want to point out is when the father pulls up next to you, which is where we're going to start it at.
Yeah, yeah,
You say, "I'm not filming your family. I'm filming the police
yeah,
to keep them safe." His exact words are, "Oh, okay."
yeah. See, it's
So
really
it was like, "Oh, okay, not a big deal."
right.
And then he pulls around the corner, and then that's when all hell breaks loose, it seems
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Hey, Ellie, I see your comment in there. I will make inroads to try to get Vanessa for an interview. That would be. I mean, I know she's gonna do all the media scrum with all the lamestream media first. So I want to let that die down, and I want to let her get her real true thoughts and feelings out there without constraints of the lamestream media. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Like the mainstream media is a big problem here. I did an interview with a guy that was a witness to that double shooting that I talked to you guys about that I was on scene for. The media, the lamestream media interviews, Fox did an interview and CBS did an interview with this guy. Their interviews were approximately 3-4 minutes. My interview with this guy was 23 minutes. So what does that tell you? They're not asking me
Right.
any questions ever. So yeah, lots of stuff on my channel, guys. I mean, lots. So, anyways, go ahead and play it, Road Dog. We'll discuss.
Okay, just so you guys know, that lady there in the gray is the mother. The son's the one sitting on the wall. This is where she actually starts to confront him about filming and starts kind of running her mouth a little bit. And then you can see the cops are kind of like, hey, he's allowed to be there kind of thing. And you see her back away, and that's about the time the car will pull up. Like within maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah. Right. You're out in public, ma'am. Hey, we're out in public. We're just making sure nothing happens to your son or your wife, man.
Hear him? He said, all right.
That guy is wondering why. These guys don't understand that we're trying to help them out. This guy's obviously having some issues here.
Hear him right there?
Yeah, 13 years old. Look, we're just making sure that they don't hurt him. That's it. You're out in public, man.
Keep in mind, that was a little girl just yelled that.
Yeah, little girl, 11 years old.
Leave. They make sure that they don't kick this guy's ass, man.
Oh,
Absolutely
pause the video
not.
there, Rody. Pause the video.
There's a major problem.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, what happened there, you guys didn't hear it. PTP was saying, should we leave? And I said, heck no. Heck no. I was like, we're there to make sure that they're not going to hurt this guy. You know, I mean, period. I mean, there's got to be a record of it, right? If something goes down, let's say they tase this boy or something, somebody's got to be there to be an objective witness, right? The cameras don't lie. So that's what I'm focused on. I'm like, heck no, I'm not leaving. All right, go ahead, continue, Road Dog. We're ways away. We're about 30 feet away. This guy's upset, but hey, we're here for their safety, not the cops. We just want to make sure that they don't hurt anybody.
We're just recording the cops. That's it.
We're recording us! We're right there with them!
Don't say anything, Shane.
We're recording us! Don't you see how upset he got?
No.
You don't give a fuck!
No, I'm making sure that they don't hurt you or him or anybody.
Nobody was even doing that. We're sitting here quietly.
Great.
No!
Hey, man, I'm telling you, stay away from me.
We're just recording the police. That's it. No, we're not recording your family. No, he didn't.
No.
I'll charge you, boy. I'll go to jail. I'll fucking beat your fucking ass.
We're only recording the cops. That's it.
You guys
Don't
get the
just
fuck
leave him
out
alone.
of here now. I swear to you, I'm gonna grab that thing and hit you with it.
No, you won't, sir.
Yeah, you think I won't?
Sir, I'm telling you, stay away from me. Telling you, stay away from me.
What you gonna do? Spray me? That ain't gonna do shit to me, bitch.
Well, find out.
Spray me.
Find out.
Spray me.
Find out.
Come on, Jacob. Come on.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna unbuckle this.
Yeah, just in case, man.
Now pay attention to the little girl.
Can't believe these guys are saying that. Wow. That's really how they teach their kids.
Yeah, it's bad parenting.
Great parenting.
Great parenting right there. But yeah, that's about it right there, man. That's but right after Started heading back.
Basically, right after that is he actually compliments the police officers for handling it the way they did.
Yeah, it was okay. That's the first video that I've done since I've started cop watching, since I started the channel, where the cops actually did their job 100% to the T, except for one minor detail. I didn't like the fact that they didn't escort those people over to their car because that kid, you guys didn't see that. That kid was huge, all right? That kid was bigger than me.
Oh, he's
So
bigger than his parents even.
yeah, and that kid probably could have done some damage. Now, I don't know the legality of, I mean, I guess if you're defending yourself, spraying a kid, I'd have no problem defending myself against anybody. But it was a little intimidating seeing that kid, that 13-year-old kid who was like twice my size, like going by me with his dad. I was like, oh boy, what am I gonna do here? I mean, I'm just prepared for the worst. But they all they did was got in their car, and then of course went and harassed us over at the gas station nearby. But it was an interesting video, and
Yeah, even both cops had a hard time getting him under control and pushed up against the car.
yeah, those female cops really did have a hard time with that kid. So what does that tell you? That kid could have probably done some damage. So, but I do give kudos to those officers. It was the first time, at least in Denver, that I can remember that two officers like did everything almost to the T. I did compliment them. I said, that's great job, whatever. They protected us for sure, because if that kid had his way, he would have bolted into oncoming traffic and might have got hit. Worst case scenario. And then worst case scenario for me, he makes it to the other side, and then, of course, I would have had no choice but to use my mace.
Yeah, K-Dot, he was 13 years old, and then we don't know how old she was, but by the looks of her, I would say 9, 10, maybe 11 years old.
At the most 11. I mean, she was
Yeah.
she was just a little girl, and I feel really bad for her. I actually do feel really bad for that 13-year-old because I mean, nothing would have been escalated if not for the mother, yelling and screaming and making a scene. And I can understand being uncomfortable being on camera, but like what happened to the days when cameras like were just coming out, like video cameras like VHS camcorders and stuff like that, and people would like say, "Hey, mom," and be real friendly towards the camera. Those days are long gone. Like nobody wants to, and maybe it was a little embarrassing for the family, and I can understand that. It was a little tiff between the mom and the son apparently, but
Yeah, just trying to protect her kid, just like any parent would. But
right, and I
got pushed over, to something that it shouldn't have been, is all.
right. No, I get it. I mean, I totally get it, but I mean, it's a matter of education and understanding that when you're in public, like your likeliness is not like special. You know what I mean? Like these cops all the time try to like, dox me and try to, say, well, I could take pictures too and all that. Yeah, you can. But it's not, it's just nobody's special out in public.
Yeah,
And that should be
that's what everybody's trying to get out there, that hey, you can video anybody you want, and it's legal.
Right. Now, I mean, there are certain times like I'm not one. I don't go to post offices. I know some people do, and that's their thing and stuff. And true, they are technically government officials, but they're not. I mean, those are basically normal, everyday run of the mill. Your neighbors could be post office worker type people, and I don't. I mean, I don't think. I mean, what is the worst that could happen in a post office lobby? I can understand courts, I can understand police lobbies, I can understand, government buildings like district attorneys and stuff like that. But post offices to me is real low hanging fruit, and I don't particularly like going in those places. And honestly, if not for the cops, just even the cops' presence there, I mean, we wouldn't have even stopped. Like if those two were going at it and having words, like I've seen fights on the streets that, I might take interest in a little bit, just to make sure nobody gets hurt. But as far as safety. I just wanted to make sure that those cops didn't like hurt the woman, hurt the son, stuff like that. I mean, I do that all the time. Like I'll stop at a traffic stop, and just make sure that, nobody's dragged out of the car and tased, which we've seen time and time again, or hurt or shot or treated in a manner that they shouldn't be treated. Usually when a camera's there, cops like when a third party camera is there, cops tend to act a little bit better for the most part. They're not going to use their normal tactics when they know that they're not being watched by a third party, because I think body cams are a sham. I think very rarely are body cams used in a proper manner. I mean, time and time again, body cams get turned off. They get
or the video gets lost
the
in the
video,
shuffle.
yep, gets lost or muted or edited or all kinds of stuff, once the lawyers look at it. And it's things tend to happen with body cams, right?
Well,
But
look at the Karen Gardner case
yeah,
where the supervisor spoke to that guy. They had to dig through. They found that footage finally in a whole other case with a different number. Everything was
yeah,
totally screwed up on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the body cam should be, when you get to the police department and you're getting ready for your shift and
Yep.
everything, there's a key somewhere to turn that thing on, and you can't shut it off until that key is put back in to shut it off.
I 100% agree, and I actually think that it should go one step further. I think that body cams should be live 24/7 for the general public to watch. So that way, there's an objective person at any given time watching these people do their job, right? Now, I don't want necessarily want to see an officer go into the restroom and take a whiz, for instance. I mean, that's not, but other than going to the bathroom, I think, and maybe a lunch break, like they can probably, call in to a dispatcher and say, I'm 10:08 for lunch, and then, and then you go and you have your lunch, and you're obviously not on cam because, I mean, nobody wants to see an officer eating their food or whatever. But other than eating and going to the bathroom, I think I agree. I think we should be privy to what goes on with these officers, and maybe they would be held accountable a little bit more than what they're being held accountable for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Call
see,
them.
I don't totally agree with the fact that where the general public can pull it up and view it. Only because, well, you get somebody that is trying to rob someplace, he can actually pull up each body cam from the police officers and know exactly where they're at.
Well, that's true too. I mean, there is thoughts about that, Road
Yeah.
Dog, but even in those
That I
situations,
totally don't agree with, but
I
I
mean,
get what you're saying.
but I mean, that would be ultra rare. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
like high level, like robberies or
Right.
things of that nature. But so you can't have an omelet without breaking some eggs, right? So it's sort of like sting operations, for instance. I can't stand sting operations. I don't think they should exist because they're creating opportunities that normally wouldn't be there to begin with. It goes into the whole thought crime. So you think somebody is going to do something, therefore you act on what you think somebody is going to do. It's kind of the same premise. You're assuming that somebody is going to be nefarious enough to, basically, I mean, think about that though. Do you think that those criminals are going to be that sophisticated enough to basically know which officers are going to be there and know exactly what it's kind of a stretch, you know what I mean? I mean, I
Yeah,
understand it.
it is, but my what I was going to throw in there is maybe they put a delay on it so you don't know exactly where that officer is at that exact moment.
Oh, perfect, even better. Maybe
That
a 30-second delay or something, or maybe a minute delay, so that way, yeah, I mean, or even a 10-minute delay.
Yeah,
Why
I
not
started
put
to
it?
say I would say like 15 minutes maybe or even
Yeah,
30-minute delay. At least you're able to see it
right.
at but yeah, it's delayed, but you don't know exactly where that officer is at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, a 10-minute delay I think would be perfect.
Yeah, I think that would be
10,
good
10
too.
15-minute delay. I wouldn't be opposed to that, just for the reasons that you're outlining. Road Dog, yeah, I think that would be perfectly okay. I mean, that way the public can get a firsthand account as to what really is going on. Now, I
Right.
mean, there has to be disclaimers. There could potentially be, um, you know,
A
uh,
shooting or
a shooting,
whatever.
or it's not for viewing for kids, obviously. I mean, you don't want a kid sitting there watching cops shoot people, or get in a high-speed chase and beat the shit out of somebody, or whatever. I mean, but I mean, I think that's understood. I mean, we the internet is open and free to everybody, at least here in the
Right.
United States. So I mean, you kind of know those things going in, right, is what I'm trying to say. So but
Right.
I think having the entire public with the ability to basically make their own judgment on what happened. I think that's the problem. I think everything is shrouded in darkness, right? And that's why the majority of the general public are bootlickers, or people that are sympathetic with police causes, because they don't know what's going on out there. I think if we shine a light on it and we let people see the ugly along with the good, then things might be a little bit better. And I know the police are definitely adamant against it, but
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but
because they don't want to be held accountable.
and also it would also help people that need that body cam footage for matters of their own interest. So in other words, if I get arrested for something, I'm not going to have to pay 30, 40, $50 for body cam footage from each officer that could potentially be, edited. So,
Right. Exactly.
I can have my own copy. It's out there in the world. Everybody else saw it, and this is exactly the footage that I need. And here you go. I mean
Yeah,
that.
and see, and that's where I think we need people that are out auditing, cop watching, and all that stuff. I mean, look at Robert Bodell up in Alaska.
Yeah.
All of his footage wound up getting edited, so it's
Yeah.
not even all there.
Yeah.
So if he had a camera rolling, or somebody was there rolling a camera, they could be like, "Well, here's the whole thing,"
Yep.
and
Exactly.
the police aren't able to do that. And I think
Right.
that's the reason why I think cops are like anti cop watchers, because they can't get away with this crap
Right. And as far as
while we're
the
there.
money it costs to store all that footage, well, maybe we take a little chunk out of the budget of the police department to pay for that. I think that
Yeah.
would be fair too. So if we're worried about how much money it's going to cost to store all that footage, and the terabytes and terabytes of data that's collected, then I think we probably can cut the police budget by maybe, I don't know, maybe 5%, and pay for all
Well,
of that.
I got another idea. How
Yeah.
about going to Office Depot, buying a pin for $1 instead of paying $5 for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, budget constraints are another concern that needs to be looked at. I mean, yeah, you get officers that'll buy like fancy ballpoint pens, and stuff that they can put on the taxpayer dime, and I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
happens all the time. That same video that you saw me go toe to toe with that corporal, in that same video, another officer had a flat tire. Well,
Yeah.
they had to call a tow truck driver out to fix that flat tire. The officer didn't have a jack in his car. It's like, really, you need to call a tow truck driver out to fix a tire that would take every bit of 5 minutes to fix yourself. I mean, how much money could be saved in that manner? I mean, you're
Exactly.
obviously out of commission, so you're not doing anything. So why not fix your own damn flat tire? Do you need
All
a
right,
Yeah,
what's
the amount of time it took to make the phone call, to get them to call dispatch, dispatch to call the tow truck to get the driver going, it
right?
could be done.
Yeah, exactly. And besides the fact, I wonder how much that costs the taxpayers for,
Right.
the tow truck guy to come out and fix a flat tire.
all right? I got to
Mhm.
get going, guys. I got to go get the kid off the bus.
All right. Hey, Mark. Nice talking with you, man.
Hey, wait till you see, he's going to be putting up pictures of his desk that he just built. Oh my god, I want one. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his mom wants to fly me down there so I can build her one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Mark.
So
Take care, man. Stay safe.
All right,
take
talk to
care.
you guys later. Road Dog, I'll talk to you in a while.
All right, sounds good.
All right, later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to jet as well, man. But I appreciate you having me on, Road Dog. What happened to K Dot? Is he down
He's
by?
at work.
Yeah.
He's at work. He tried to call me, and I was on the phone trying to get something else straightened out, and all of a sudden it was like he called me again, and so I texted him a message. I texted him and asked him what's up. That I was on the phone, blah blah blah, and then he tried to call me again. It's like, okay, something's up. I need to cut this quick. So
Yeah.
I called him, and he told me what had happened, and he's like, "Do me a favor and go live." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, I mean, this is
So I
a
went
huge
ahead and threw
story.
this together.
There's way more to this, and I can't wait to get with K Dot and talk to him about it because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces to this. This is not the only story. This is a small piece of the overarching debacle that is the Aurora Police Department. And
Yeah.
if there's a story, I'm gonna get it. So so I'll
Well,
be.
there is more to the story. But we're gonna wait for KDOT to release that information.
Yeah, yeah.
But he is gonna get with you and talk to you about it. So
Yep. I'm gonna get with KDOT. We're gonna try to get Vanessa on for an interview, but that might be a little dicey. But I'll talk to KDOT about it, and we will do our damnedest to get that interview because I think that would be insightful and actually a very positive thing. I hope she agrees to do an independent interview aside from the mainstream media. That way, she truly can get her story out and we can get to the bottom of what I feel is a little nefarious workings going on in the Aurora PD. So,
all righty, yeah, that would be quite an interesting interview, in my opinion. And she can't use the excuse like Cody Lanier does that, "Oh, I'm a cop, I have to go through this." Well, you're not a cop anymore. You can do it.
right, you're right. Oh, at least right now. I mean, I'm sure somebody will snap her
Right.
up. I mean,
Oh yeah.
but hopefully we can get her in that interim period where she can speak and we can get a little more insight as to what's going on. Now, I don't know how much she's willing to divulge because maybe it's a matter of her safety, which I mean, I can fully understand because Aurora's janky, just like Denver is. So we'll see what we can do. That's all I can promise.
I'm going to throw out a link here to everybody. The video I was actually looking to try to get a hold of. This is it. This is where the Aurora City manager, the mayor, addresses firing of Vanessa Wilson.
I keep forgetting her name. I keep
calling on Denver 7. Check that out.
Also, if you guys
check
out Channel 9, 9 News in Denver, there's an article on their website that is you have to read between the lines to really understand what's going on there, and that is a very revealing report out of Channel 9 News in Denver. So 9 News Denver, check that out. You'll see it. It's under obviously Chief Vanessa Wilson gets fired or something along those lines, and it'll basically tell you a good chunk of the story right there.
All right. I'm sure you and I will be talking pretty soon about it with KDOT. So everyone, I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank the mods for doing an awesome job. Thank everybody for coming in, hanging out with us. Thank Mark Wilson for coming up. Obviously, MLH. And everybody have a good day, and we're out of here.
Yep. Take care, everybody.